Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee is dropping
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, I got a dude that basically invents markets, makes so much disruptive change that markets emerge. Adam Vasquez, what's cracking?
What's going on, Brad?
Adam, what's that town you're in again?
Right now I'm in D.C.
I thought you were outside of Philly or something.
So out at Harrisburg is one of our offices, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a little ass town.
Yeah, you wouldn't see them coming either, but they're doing bigs. They just won the National Esports Championship for ESPN at Harrisburg University.
Who's that?
Exactly.
Is there a university there?
Exactly.
They got a team?
And they just won the national championship, #1 in the world for collegiate esports. It's crazy,
Was
right?
Dr. Kevin Elko coaching them?
No.
Oh.
No.
Kevin Elko,
Yeah.
another client of ours, like took the Eagles
Nice.
all the way.
Nice.
Alabama, like anybody he coaches wins.
Yeah.
He says it's about the language.
Yeah.
He goes in and shows people how to use language.
Right.
He always says, Brad, it's the language. It's the language.
You-
You got a book out called Toothfish.
Yep.
Anybody in the bomb squad hasn't read Toothfish, I'd go get Toothfish.
Yep.
Now that's about the Patagonia toothfish, is it not?
Yep. It's about basically inventing markets. You know, Lee Lance in 1977 really was looking for something to sell more fish. He wasn't like he was last place, but he wasn't first. And he went down to a small fishing village in really Chile. And then found a fish that was bycatch. So it was the fish his fishermen that he was commissioning weren't catching or weren't going for, and he found out that was better than the fish he was actually catching. So he ended up changing the way people fished for it because he had to change the whole process for it. And then he also his big market was New York City, so he went into the market and then had to change the name because Patagonia Toothfish is a pretty terrible name. I think we can all agree. It doesn't sound very delicious either. But he changed it and invented the Chilean sea bass market. It's a $1 billion market today, and now it's even being overfished. And it's not even a bass. It's actually part of the cod family. So you're paying a premium dollar for a piece of cod.
For a piece of cod that's uglier than sin.
Yeah, it is. See a picture of it. I mean, you've seen a picture of it,
Well, that's why
Brad.
they call it a toothfish.
It's pretty gnarly. Exactly.
Patagonia toothfish. Nasty. Nasty business. So, Adam Vasquez, folks. Go follow him on IG, by the way. Where you at on IG?
Adam T. Vasquez.
Adam T. Vasquez. Dude's a frickin'... You've been around, dude.
I have been.
Like, your pops was rich, wasn't he?
No, yeah, well, he made money. So my parents lived in a trailer park. That's all they could afford. Actually, when they moved down to the Washington, D.C. area to work.
They didn't end up that way.
No, they didn't. No. Pops did pretty well for himself.
Okay, so Pops wasn't already rich when you was a kid?
Nope, not at all.
I picture you as like a D.C. college kid rowing what do they call that?
Yeah.
Skull and Bones?
Yeah, exactly. No, I was, you could throw stereotypes out there.
What
I was a
college did you
lacrosse
go to?
player. I went to Randolph-Macon College for undergraduate. Small liberal arts college, but top tier liberal arts school. And then I went to grad school at Maryland.
So how did you start figuring out how to reinvent markets?
You know, through a lot of failure, basically. You know, trying a lot of crap. You know, I started my career selling Oriental rugs and imported furniture online. This little thing back in 1999 called eBay. And so eBay was just starting.
The founder of that lives across the street from me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. And you could
Pierre Omidyar. Now, see, it sounds cool and makes me seem richer that I live across the street from Pierre.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is I do, but it's across the street in a gated community where he bought the whole lot. Like in my community, there might be like 20 houses. In his, there's supposed to be 20 houses too, but there's just one. Yeah. And it's huge.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, he's a perfect example of a market inventor. That's what a market inventor can get you. I mean, we always say there's 4 levels of entrepreneurship, and the top level, the 4th level, is market invention, because the first one is the solopreneur, right? That's the gun for hire Lots of executive coaches out there, digital marketers, there's tons of them, right? And that's a good option. And then the second is a small follower. Those could be laundromats. They could be another digital marketing company. It could be a law firm. It could be an accounting firm, architecture. You get the picture. Then the third is the strong competitor. That's like Burger King or Wendy's. You know, they're not going to be McDonald's, but they've bought up market share and they were in at the right time at the right place to grow with that market. But they're never going to be number one because they never invented it. And then you get the market inventors. Those are the ones that literally create the next big change or impact that is going to define the future of an industry. And eBay did it. They're one of them.
Yeah, it was on accident, wasn't it?
Sometimes that's the problem. A lot of times it is on accident. There really hasn't been a roadmap for this. And I learned it the hard way. And then when I picked my head up and started looking around doing this for multi-billion-dollar companies, I realized there was actually a streamlined, straight line process, you know, and then or more like a framework. And then with that, it's no guarantees of success, right? We were talking about this earlier, but there are things that increase your probability for it. And this is one of those processes that do.
Nice. So that's what you do. You go around, help companies market, invent.
Exactly. So big companies, multi-billion-dollar companies that basically put all the connectivity or the connectors and sensors and everything in your car. If you have a car, about 80% of that content is with this company called T Connectivity that we work with. But then we also work with Chateau Ste. Michelle, one of the largest wine brands in the world. And we do stuff for auto parts, and we do stuff for banks. So the cool thing about it is I get to look across every industry. And this is, you know, I don't like to talk down on industry experts, but industry experts, they just look at their industry and they're only really able to tell you what's going on with the industry. And that, generally speaking, if you follow an industry expert, you're just going to get me too thinking. You're just going to follow the leader because that's where they're getting all their research. They're talking to all your competitors.
What do you call it when there's more than one industry you deal with? Multi-industry?
Yeah, I guess it's multi-industry, you know?
Well, there's like multinational.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing, so it's funny, out of Harrisburg, PA, and that's usually, it's ironic when I say, you know, PA, like that's a small town, what's going on there? It's state capital of Pennsylvania. But that's the thing about disruption. You don't see it coming. You don't know where it's going to come from. It's going to come from the most unexpected spot. And who would have thought that we grew out of Harrisburg, PA? But that's just because there's a lot of global manufacturers there. There's Hershey's there. There's Rite Aid there. Not a manufacturer, but, you know, they own a lot of retail shops. There's, you know, T Connectivity I was talking about. There's some large healthcare companies. It's kind of it's a little bit of a sleeper city.
Yeah,
you know?
Sounds like it. I always picture Harrisburg as some quaint little thing you'd see inside of a snow globe.
Some parts, yeah.
Huh?
Some parts, not so much. There's, you know, but then we've got offices in Portland, Oregon, and then we've got an office down in Washington, D.C. But to your point, multi-industry and multinational, right? We got clients in Shanghai, China. So we get to see a really interesting broad spectrum. So when a client comes to us, either I help them with the training, like help them teach them how to invent markets, you know, teach them how to fish, or other times we actually invent these large, sometimes multi-billion-dollar markets, you know, and the shareholders love us, but we're kind of a little bit of boogeyman into your industry.
Well, tell the bomb squad what they can do if they're not one of those big wig companies, but they want to become one.
Yeah.
How do they reinvent a plumber?
Yeah, the best part about it is,
how do you reinvent plumbing?
It doesn't take millions. That's the crazy part. It really takes a bootstrap sort of shoestring budget. So to do that, man, it's just you gotta have a point of view. You gotta understand what the biggest pain that plumbers are either not solving today or what they're creating. Right? It could be anything. And chances are it's pain as it's easy to relate to because we all have plumbers and we all deal with plumbing. I mean, if you're a human being, right, you got food coming in, you got crap coming out, right? So it's like the childhood book, everybody poops. Well, everybody needs a plumber too, right? So if you think about that is what's one of the biggest pains, you know, with the exception of having to go to bathroom, right? So then thinking about, is it response time? Is it quality? Is it cleanliness? This thinking about how you do that. And then,
which is what differentiate yourself.
yeah, I mean, the basic bottom line, the whole part about market invention, market doesn't exist if it's not solving a pain, and there's not customers and vendors in there.
So like a plumber would say, I'm not a plumber. I'm an evacuation specialist.
Could be, if that's the real pain.
All the plumbing in the world,
yeah,
they've gotten it wrong. We've decided we just need to learn how to evacuate, because that's really what people want.
Yeah, you could do that.
With that kind of plumbing anyway. But, if there's a copper pipe and it's running spring water versus sewer water, you think the pipe cares what's running through it?
Doesn't.
Doesn't?
Well, unless it's corrosive, then it does.
Right.
Then it fails, and then you learn it the hard way, right?
Yeah, but dude, you want spring water running through it.
Yeah.
So if I were in the bomb squad listening to this, I'd be thinking, so whatever I'm doing, I got to figure out how to frickin' do it uniquely.
Yeah. And sometimes, a lot of times it's just uniquely, or just positioning, like we were just talking about, to be an evacuator, not a plumber. But a lot of other times, to do it right, you do have to do something that's different. It's not just having a different value prop than everybody, or value proposition, or a sales, message or whatever. It's truly, you got to back it up, right? Because I think in this world, there's a sniff test, right? People are going to find out if you're really not who you are. That's great. That's the internet. Pre-internet, when we advertised, if you're Wonder Bread, you thought everybody who thought they needed sliced bread, they thought Wonder Bread was the only thing available, right? Just like a plumber, right? Because that was how we got it. It was either a salesperson, an advertisement, or word of mouth, right? And then they would buy up all the shelf space and they would own it, right? Today, though, post-internet, it's all changed, because now when you advertise, you're just creating awareness to a market. So Sliced Wonder Bread starts marketing sliced bread. What do? We go online and we research, well, what's the best sliced bread available? And 9 out of 10 times we end up spending with whoever we perceive is the best. So, and that's the reason why content marketing works. It's not just about awareness and getting and informing people. It's because content works when you are delivering something unique value that nobody else is delivering, and you create that landing, that moat around your brand. So when people are doing their research, they come to you and you get recognized as leader. And so today, if you're spending on advertising and you're not inventing a market through that advertising, you're actually spending money for the market leader, because you're just creating awareness to the market leader's market, which you're competing in. And it's a total waste of money, really. So
what should they do then?
Well, so to start off with the pain, man. So start off with so we have a pain grid and you can download it, and everything else is a simple template. But the whole premise of it is go out and talk to people. Go out to find out what is not being met. Like if there's an incumbent, somebody in the legacy market, a market leader, ask simple questions like, what do you hate about working with them, right? Or if you're the market leader, because this helps you defend your market leader position.
What if everybody says we don't hate anything?
Well, then you observe, because there's always something messed up, right?
Oh, yeah. You call some Lightspeed customers, I'm sure they're complaining, but that's because they talked to so-and-so who said such and such, which wasn't even close to the facts.
Right.
And why is that? Well, back to training. See, I can show people how to turn asses into assets with just a T.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah.
You want to turn asses into assets? Get a hold of Brad Lee.
Well, you have a market invention on your hands. You invented the virtual training market.
Well, I didn't reinvent it. I freaking invented it.
You did.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
I started thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, damn, dude. When I started doing this, nobody was doing it.
Yep.
Zero.
Yeah. What year was that when you started?
99.
Yeah. Yeah. The internet people were still dialing up on AOL, right?
Yeah. It was just getting going, but I'd done seen the future.
Yeah.
Like, shit, dude, training online is going to be way better than training in person. You just can't do it better than leveraging technology. Now, a blend is ideal. I show up, I meet people, I pump them up, I talk, real, and then I roll out. Boom. the virtual version of me stays behind
Yep.
and works with every individual one-on-one to make sure that they fully understand everything that I have to say and can prove it. But see, most companies, they don't deliver the repetition. They make them go through it once, check a box, and say they're trained, when that's not training. That's just being exposed. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you really want to train somebody, repetition's required.
Yeah.
Accountability's required.
Yeah.
Like, imagine training somebody to do something and then you don't hold them accountable to do it.
Yep.
What are you really training them?
It's exactly right. And right there is a perfect example of a market point of view and a market statement. You have it nailed. You have a strong point of view.
My problem is I can't get the market to hear me.
Yeah. Sometimes.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's because I've never marketed before. Can you believe that, dude? We've grown this puppy with no marketing. What's that tell you?
Well, that's
what
my
invention
point.
Is that?
Well, that's my point. Market invention doesn't require
dude, word of
expensive
mouth growth to this level. Like, is that even normal?
It now you can accelerate it.
And not only that, with me at the helm, that means in spite of everything, in spite of a high school dropout, screwing up everything, driving it into the ground with a mismanagement. Here it is, successful. Now, what if I would have marketed?
Well, that's the gasoline on the fire, right?
Right. So, but when I come out with my marketing, it's all about establishing instead of reinventing. It's just freaking establishing an actual learning system.
Yep.
All the rest are video hosting solutions.
Absolutely.
We have an actual learning system. It's for people who want to actually get someone to learn something.
Exactly. Well, and that's the cool part. You're at a stage, at the market leadership role, and you've got the market now.
Not really, dude. There's a lot of huge companies way bigger than me, dude. They just suck. Their shit sucks.
Yeah, but they're more learning management systems, right?
Well, again, they're 100% learning management systems, technically and figuratively.
Yeah.
They're created to host videos. Lightspeed was created to entertain and engage the user and make sure they actually learned. That's an actual learning system.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Not a learning management system.
Right.
I have an actual learning system.
Yeah.
World's first. But anyway, that's beside the point. This is starting to sound like a Lightspeed commercial.
I love it.
Let's make it a Toothfish commercial.
Perfect.
If someone buys the book Toothfish and reads it, what will they learn?
They'll learn. I don't like to call it secret, but it is the secret law of commerce. This is
why don't you like calling it a secret?
Because we've been doing it for some time, and I don't want to mystify it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've called things secrets to become this big mystify, but I call it.
I thought it was because you always hear everybody say there are no secrets in life.
Yeah, well, there are.
And as soon as sure there are.
There are.
And I keep saying that to people.
Yeah.
Like, everyone always wants to tell you there's no secrets. There's secrets, you bastards, and you're not sharing them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll share them.
So this book is me sharing all the secrets, and it impacted and impacts every business, and it's impacted you whether you realize it or not. So this breaks down like the how-to guide. This isn't business theory. This isn't like a bunch of academics sitting back. This is a result of inventing, and I always stumble on the $1 billion because it sounds unbelievable. But this has invented $1 billion markets and market cap value. And so these big companies that are sitting there, $15 billion market caps and higher, they're doing this stuff. Amazon is built. Amazon's a market invention company. They just happen to do it first time with books.
Old Bezos. What do you think, old Bezos?
Old Bezos has figured out the game in this new business economy, and he's kicking a lot of people's butts.
Well, you know what would be unbelievably cool? When you get a divorce and you got to pay your wife $34 billion, and it's like, psh,
yeah,
I still got 130 billion.
Yep.
What the hell?
That only happens if you've invented a market. I'm sorry, that's just the only way to get there.
And have you seen the before and after of Bezos?
Yeah, he's chiseled diesel now, right?
yeah, billions.
He looks like a badass,
dude,
right?
Billions of dollars, you can get the best of everything. You know, you stay young looking, you're freaking sharp, your clothes are just top notch, everything's just perf.
I want to say his jawline got squarer too.
Yeah, something happened, dude. I don't know if he got a surgery or if he just freaking taking care of himself better.
Yeah.
Either way, dude, money gives you resources and resources give you options.
Absolutely.
And dude, options is what it boils down to. Right. Freedom.
Right.
So when you bust into a market, what's the thing they should do? Be unique? What else?
Oh, like develop the market, right?
How did someone change their name?
So it's a perfect example.
Because I want to make sure they don't think that all you're saying is change your name.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the difference. You're not launching a company. You are launching a company, but you're not worried about your company brand. You're worried about the market brand, if that makes sense. So you're actually naming the market you're inventing because you're almost giving it to it as a gift.
What if you're not inventing it? You can teach people how to reinvent it.
Yeah, well, either way, you're making the next iteration. So you may be coming up with something completely from scratch, or you're making it better, and it's more than just a better mousetrap, right? But so how you do it is once you have it real clear on what you're going to do and what the competitors are not doing and the influencers, then when you're making the market, you're pulling together the influencers, the mega influence, the industry experts, if there's associations, vendor partners, you're getting them all bought in. So your team expands, right? So your team expands much bigger than just your own product, right?
Right.
So
I agree.
So when you do that, first you got to have something that's valuable. You know, I joke why our company's called Merit, but the fact is you got to have merit to play in this economy. You got to have something that's different and unique. Once you have that clear point of view and you can deliver on that, whether it's a product or service or a combination of those things, then you need to make sure you're not selling it into the legacy market. You got to paint that picture of what that future vision of the industry looks like, right? And with that becomes that new market. You're almost naming a new mega trend in many ways.
Yeah.
And so then once you get the industry experts and everybody, and it sounds simpler than it is, it takes time. It can take up to a 10-year and some kinds 20-year process, but the payoff is huge. It's the only way to make that shift. So once you do that, you're making the market, you're really educating the market about what this is. You're naming the old market. You know, Salesforce.com called it on-premise software, what Siebel Systems was. Now, and they called their new one was, you know, cloud-based CRM or software as a service. Megatrend is what they align. And they shifted it was about a 10-year period, but they started in 1999 as dead last place to Siebel Systems. And now Siebel got sold to Oracle. And I think you can fact check me on this, but I believe the Salesforce.com's market cap value is over $100 billion. You know, and they shifted everybody over to that. Now they have the tallest building in San Francisco. So, and they started in last place.
Dang. See, that's some moving and shaking.
Yeah.
But dude, and I don't understand how they grew. Because customer service wise, they blow. Salespeople wise, they blow. Dude, it was like trying to buy a used car. Like, dude, they were negotiating, wheeling and dealing and trying to freaking confuse me, literally. And then, like, I'm thinking to myself, why is this so difficult? I just explained what I want, and then what I got sold was like 10 times more than I needed. And then I call them, and they're freaking like basically dicks.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it was actual Salesforce that I was calling, but I just thought to myself, how do they get so freaking huge?
That's how bad Siebel was.
Yeah, but how do they get so huge with such terrible customer service? Well, and customer abuse, really.
Yeah. Well, at the time, they sold on the value of easy, no integration, right?
They were the only one.
And well, they're the only one in this market. So when you look,
well, not anymore.
Not anymore. Now it's crowded. Now they're in the defending, or we called it the iterate and expand phase, where they're trying to.
He don't care. Mark Benioff, he don't care. He's done, dude.
Yeah,
he's so loaded, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a point where like $1 billion in like net in your pocket.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, dude, you're just thinking about bigger shit than freaking worrying about Salesforce. Like, it's a company. I sold it off. Now I'm out to save the world or something new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for that day when someone tromps onto Lightspeed, gives me like $2-3 bill.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there goes my baby. But now I've got $2 or $3 billion.
Exactly.
Can you imagine the size of frickin' brass balls? A couple billion
Yeah. Yeah. It certainly help.
would do.
Yeah.
Like someone says, money shouldn't make you more confident. Dude, money makes me more confident.
Yeah. It's to one of the point of when you're taken care of regardless, you can. It almost gives people permission to be their truest self because they're like, I don't care if we don't close this. I'm just gonna. This is the point, and if you don't want to buy, I'm good with it.
Dude, that's pretty much where I'm at now.
Yeah,
but
good.
I'm not. But I'm just acting that way.
But that's
like,
good, though,
I
right?
really do care, and no, I'm not a billionaire. But at the end of the day, it's a. What do you want to call the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Where it makes you feel good. It's almost not empowering. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
But dude, it's totally a goal to operate that way, don't you think?
Yeah, completely. And that's the thing I always say. It's like everybody's like fighting for scraps. Everybody's fighting to be a digital marketer or another guru, performance this or that. And my point to them is it's hard. Why do you want to go down that path where you're fighting for everybody? Like everybody's saying the same thing. They sound the same. When was the last time? How many times does a digital marketing company like link in with you, try to send you a note of like they're this or that? They all sound the same. Law firms, they sound the same, and it sucks.
So let's take a law firm.
Yeah.
How would you reinvent the law?
Well,
industry?
There's a lot of ways. Process to begin with. The law firms are the last, I would say, holdout for professional services firms that can have large ass retainers based on no results, right? They're just like, hey, just give me a pile of money. You might work or you might not. But, in my industry, it don't work like that, man. So,
Dude, why don't you run for mayor of Harrisburg?
oh, good old, yeah, it replaced the good old Chip Paffinfoos. No, it's public office is not for me at this point. Maybe in the future.
You look like a politician.
Yeah, that's because I grew up in D.C.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, you look like a frickin' presidential elect out of Harvard.
I appreciate that.
You're all frickin' corporate-y. Dude, that's the best that's the best way to be also. Like a lot of times people don't understand the tattoos all over the face and body and neck and shit. Like, hey, it's cool, but it could harm you. Now, I'm not saying it will, because there's other successful people that don't mind tattoos, but generally from the old days where blazers and slacks were like appropriate.
Yeah.
Do you still believe in blazers and slacks?
Well, I'm wearing a blazer right now, but I'm wearing jeans.
Yeah. Do you ever do slacks?
Yeah, depending on the audience, right? I mean,
You'll
you want
do
to be
slacks?
relatable. Well, I'll do it.
How old are you?
I'm 42.
Dude,
I won't do
you shouldn't be
slacks. I do
wearing
a suit.
slacks.
I do a suit.
Slacks are for freaking old men.
Yeah. Well, and no pleats either, please.
Dude, if I'm getting married or buried, I might wear slacks.
But
But dude, if you get to choose, you're a grown man, and you get to choose the pants that you wear, who the fuck would choose slacks?
not me. I don't think I even own any slacks anymore. I have suit pants.
Yeah, but like even the fact that they're called slacks
Yeah.
is why you wouldn't want to wear them.
Yeah.
But, you can get some nice slacks and look pretty special. But if you could choose any pant you ever want to wear, no matter where you go, who would choose slacks?
I'd probably choose sweatpants, to be quite honest with you.
Well, then you
Comfort.
should, then that's the pinnacle of your success. When you get, if that's what you want to wear and you wear it, because what is the pinnacle of success? Everybody has their own opinion, right?
That's right.
And sounds like if you could wear anything you wanted, fuck the world. I'm going to wear anything I want. You get up, you don't do anything unless you want to.
Yep.
What would you be wearing right now?
I'd be wearing a t-shirt and jeans probably.
See, so why don't you just wear a t-shirt and jeans?
Because I thought you were wearing a blazer. I didn't want to be less dressed from the real Brad Lee.
Well, I'm wearing t-shirt and jeans.
Well, I know. Well, I should have texted me this morning, and I would have worn what you would have worn.
No, but what you should have done is wore what you wanted to wear.
Well,
especially just because you're coming here, especially. But like, even people going into a business meeting, they'll put on a tie because you look at all the board meetings and everyone's in a tie. It's like, do you know how old a tie is?
Well, it depends though.
There's no
some nice
depends.
ties.
Dude, there's a draping piece of fabric from your neck down to your belt.
Looks like an ascot.
Around your neck, and you had to tie it, and you had to cinch it up to the front, and your neck cannot be as comfortable as no tie.
Yeah.
So therefore, somebody's wearing a tie as of some sort of gesture of respect or tradition or something. Like nobody's choosing to wear a tie. But I do see people coming up that wear the suits everywhere they go. They're in the 3-piece, dressed to the nines, cufflinks, the whole bit. And I believe that when they were little, they think that meant success.
Yeah.
So that's why they're all suited up in a 3-piece. And then because again, if I go on stage or I'm going to go do something, I'll throw on a blazer and a nice ass shirt with some cufflinks. I like looking sharp. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But like, I'm coming to work, I'll throw on a t-shirt and jeans. People say, well, why would you do that? You're supposed to look professional. Guess what? Because I reached a level where I can wear what I want. And if you don't want to do business because I wear a t-shirt and jeans, you're weird. Yeah. And I don't want to do business with you anyway. So all the weird people that might be listening, like, don't worry about doing business with me if jeans and a t-shirt offends you. Like, hey, move on down the road. We're not the right company for you because I wear jeans and a t-shirt. And then the next time you're driving around and you're in a jeans and a t-shirt, look in the mirror and think, man, I'm a dumb fuck.
Man, I'll tell you, and it changes. It's so, you look in the corporate world, and that's where we do a lot of our business in the corporate world, and everything is getting more dressed down. However, it's city by city too. It varies,
Dude, listen, if you told me, dude, come on out to Harrisburg, we got a frickin' town hall on Monday. Come on out. We want you to frickin' sit in on the town hall. I'd roll out there, probably blazer, jeans, custom white shirt, cufflinks, pocket square, and roll up. What up? Because, hey, I want to, hey, what's up? But like, if you came to my house,
yeah, you're going to be comfortable, right?
Yeah, I'm not putting on a freaking jacket because you're coming over, but I'll put on a jacket to go out on stage, make an appearance. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I like looking sharp. Yep. Sharp is not a tie. Now, there are occasions that I would put on a tie, but they're not often.
What about a tuxedo?
And they're not because somebody wants, or I want to get someone's business. So like, for example, I would get blazered up. Mm-hmm. I call it blazered up. I'll get blazered up to go anywhere. I'll go blazered up to go out on a date with my wife. Yeah. I'll get blazered up any day. I get blazered up, come to work. I like being blazered up. But slacks and a tie? Dude, that doesn't seem like something somebody would choose to wear. And if you do choose that, like I'm choosing this, like this is what I'd like to wear, well, then you obviously think, ooh, this looks great. Yeah. And if you think it looks great, you got to ask yourself a question. To who? Yeah. Because if you think a 3-piece suit in a nightclub looks better than being blazered up, you're wrong.
Well, it goes back to the point of like, who's you, right? What do you like to wear? Where would you like to wear?
Well, now we're back to sweats.
Yeah, I mean,
but see, I don't like to wear sweats at all, except for like Sunday morning or laying on the couch watching TV. Yeah. But dude, as soon as I get up, boom, shower, minimum t-shirt and jeans, and they're designer and cool, of course. Yeah. But see, when you wear the watches that I have, it's like, dude, you can get away with anything.
Yeah, you can. They dress up anything, don't they? Those are some sweet sweats, man. That's a nice watch.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
Dude, you can be dressed like a bum as long as your watch is $100K. And everyone's like, fuck, all right, cool.
Yeah, you earn the right to wear sweats.
Yeah, but if you got a Timex on, don't be wearing sweats. I don't care who gave it to you either. You see some of these guys that are apparently successful and their watches don't look like it. Yeah. And you're like, it just makes you suspect. Like, dude, is this dude real? And it's like, yeah, he's real. He just doesn't care about watches. How's that possible?
Well, you're making a good point, though. I mean, in any successful market inventor or entrepreneur or anyone who's successful, they're self-aware, right? So they understand what they wear has repercussions, whether they care or not. That's a choice, right? But they're making that choice either way. But you have people, to your point of the other example, maybe some listeners on this phone, they're feeling like they've got to wear a suit because that's what they think they have to do.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where they need to wake up, folks. If you're listening to this and you think, I'm going to go get me one of them suits, where the jacket matches the pants, I'm going to get me one of them. Don't like, dude, I say that jokingly, but I went to my buddy's house one time, or not my buddy's house, but I went with my buddy to some relative's house of his, way out in the country, like in Missouri. I think it even maybe went out of Missouri into a neighboring state, like Kentucky or something. Does Kentucky and Missouri touch?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, something like that, dude. And we're way out in the freaking middle of nowhere. And I've never met him. It's just like, you want to stop and visit. We're in his hometown visiting.
Yeah.
So we roll out there and I walk in and some girl comes out. She's cute, probably about 20. And she comes out of the back of the trailer they were living in. And I'm standing there in a suit because I used to love suits, dude.
Yeah.
I was the same dude I just described. I thought suits meant something. So I had a suit on all the time. Anyway, so I went out there. I walked in a suit. She comes out. She starts screaming for her boyfriend, my buddy's cousin or brother or some shit. And she starts calling for him. And, of course, he's not coming. And she says, "Come out here, look." And then he don't say nothing. And she goes, "Get out here. He's got one of them deals where the jacket matches the pants." And I'm like, yeah, you mean a suit? She's like, "Yeah, he's got a suit, honey. Come here." And she's like asking me, "Is that a suit? Is that one of them things where the jacket matches the pants?" I'm thinking, oh my God. And that started to make me wake up and realize, dude, like environments you need to adapt in. Yep. That's the answer.
Yep.
So people always say, is it cool to wear a suit? I say adapt to your environment. Because guess what? If I hung around a bunch of people where the only way I could succeed and be accepted was to wear a fucking suit, well, then I'd wear a fucking suit.
Exactly.
But see, that's the difference. I'm adaptable, and too many people aren't adaptable. They want to sit there and make a stand about who they are rather than get somewhere.
Yep.
Like, that's below me. That's above me. I don't agree with that. I don't stand for that. I want to be broke. I want to fight the system. Like all these positions where if they just adapted, fuck, you don't like tattoos? Don't get any. You love them? Get a bunch. Well, that just relegates you to wherever tattoos are accepted. You just closed people off. But again, if you go into where tattoos, like sleeve tattoos, are all over and you don't have any, you probably do get looked down upon. Like, are you a cop or something? How come you don't have any sleeves and you're hanging around everybody with sleeves?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know a lot of successful people with great businesses, cool people with sleeves. Mm-hmm. So what do sleeves do? That, to me, the person that got the sleeves is the one that I would rather aspire to be like. Why? Well, because they got the sleeves because they don't give a shit. They like the sleeves. They want the sleeves. They don't care what people think. If everybody could just figure out how to get rid of the fear of being judged, the whole world would improve overnight.
That's the truth.
Oh, yeah. That's a big truth.
That's a big dropping bomb.
Oh, yeah, I've been forgetting the bombs.
That's a good one.
But listen, I bought a URL. It's called Asses to Assets. I can turn your asses into assets. You know what I'm saying?
It. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
The T
is
what changes an asset to an asses.
I love it.
The T.
Yeah, which is the training, right?
Yeah. Dude, if someone trains effectively, they can miraculously cure themselves. However, if they're unwilling to do what it takes, then they might as well not train at all. Because here's what I discovered the other day, and I thought, man, that's a fucking meme. Whether you train ineffectively or not at all, the result's the same. So in other words, you might as well not do it at all if you're not going to do it right.
Yeah,
like, training is something you have to do right. And 98% of the fucking country, the world, are not training their people correctly. The military trains their people. Okay. Athletes get trained. There's all kinds of training going on, but from a corporate America, these companies that have very good training programs, by the way, are literally missing the repetition, or they're missing the accountability, or they're missing the real-time notifications. They're missing something, which again, you can manually do this too, but when you leverage technology, it makes it easier. So good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. If those four things are not prevalent in your quote unquote training program, you don't have a training program. You have an exposure program.
And you definitely don't have actual learning.
You definitely don't have an actual learning system or actual learning. Right. But at the end of the day, I can fix all that with $200 a month.
Yes, you can.
I can give you a dipshit detector for $200 a month. I can give you an applicant screener, all included. I can give you a system to train, track, monitor, measure your employees or your customers. When people say, well, we're not supposed to train our customers, I say, who said? Mm-hmm. Like, wouldn't it be great if you could train your customer? You just don't call it training. You call it educate.
Exactly.
So you use it to educate your customers. You train your employees. You educate your customers. But either way, you need a system to deliver, track, and measure interactive content that can adapt to the individual, not force the individual to adapt to the content. And then with built-in marketing tools that allow you to create interactive landing pages to market and generate leads and interest automatically through a digital automated funnel. Mm-hmm. Forget it, dude. I'll turn you on a faucet of revenue or results, one of the two. I almost feel like freaking commercial. Right now I'd be like,
you're just speaking the truth.
Well, all I know is I'm passionate about what proper execution could do, because lives change when you train people correctly.
Yeah.
Or cease to be harmed, because there's people getting harmed every day from lack of training.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's companies spending the money to train. They're just not doing it very well.
Yeah.
And just like, again, market reinvention. Okay. How many times have you told someone what you can do for them and they didn't want to stroke the big fat reader you guys charge?
Yeah. Yeah. They just, because they're not educated. They don't know. And that's part of the process, right? So you got to educate them.
Right. So do you think you could leverage your VT system to get more customers? If
Absolutely.
you're like, wow,
have to.
Dude, make a course for a prospect.
Yep.
Make interactive content. So when someone says, Adam, so tell me about what you do, you say, hey, click that link, and then you pop up, hey, you must have been interested. Are you interested in this? Are you interested in this? Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to know my background? Oh, maybe you don't want to know my background. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to know how much it is? You want to just jump to the price? Interactivity allows you to adapt to the individual.
Yep.
People are individuals. It's not one size fits all.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
So why would we want to train our employees the same way? Like, here's a video. Everybody watch it. Okay, you're trained. That doesn't make them trained. That makes them exposed, and they're all exposed, and you don't know anything about them or what they understood. There's no accountability. There's no repetition. That's not training. Quit trying to make you think it is. Now, with all this being said, am I disrupting the market? Am I inventing one? Because it's all training. I'm not inventing training.
No, that's the industry. So you're inventing the market inside the industry. You could throw colleges in that same industry. You could talk
I have
about,
colleges using Lightspeed.
You know? Yeah. So, I mean, it's anybody who's training anything is the industry. You've just invented a separate market around virtual training. And yeah, is that the future? Absolutely. Look at the school debt. What was it, $1.2 trillion in the U.S.?
Well, not only that, Adam, but people want to learn from real people.
They do.
Like, dude, gone are the days to pay $150,000 to go listen to a older person stand in front of me and tell me what they learned when they stood in the same class for 20 years prior.
Completely.
Like, dude, can I just learn from the dude who actually did it? Like the studies that you're reciting, can I just learn directly from them now? Well, sure you can. You don't need to go sit in a room and listen about success. The internet is success. The whole world's connected. You can connect direct with the expert.
Yeah.
You can go try to figure out how to invent a market, or you can call Adam.
Yep.
You can figure out how to train your people, or you can call Brad.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we can connect direct. Why would I want to go to a school so a professor can teach me how to train people? I already know how to train people. I've been doing it 20 years. I'll teach them shit they're not even teaching. So at the end of the day, if you were going to learn training as an industry, who would you rather learn from? Them or someone doing it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're also the future of the industry. So you represent the future, not the past. And that's the key difference. Every new market, it needs to be whatever the future
Well,
is.
here's what's crazy, bro. After 20 years and being the one that started it and being still the one in the future is aggravating for a founder.
Yes, it is.
But time has arrived.
Yep.
Like, the industry is exploding.
Yep.
And pretty soon it's going to get better and better and better and better and better. And all I'm going to be able to say one day when I'm an old gray-haired individual walking around the Hamptons at 91, just worth 30, 40 billion, they'll be like, who's that? Oh, that's Mr. Lee.
That's right.
He invented training.
Yep.
Like, I'll just get credit one day.
Just all of it.
Online, not training, but online.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know for sure because I didn't search up every company in the world, but back when we started, dude, there wasn't any thing like this.
Not at all.
And I said, I need to build it for me. And then it turned out I started showing it to others. They used it. And then it got bigger and bigger. And now I just keep kicking our own ass.
Yep.
See, here's the lesson, dude. If you don't want to get your ass kicked, kick your own ass. Every day we get to work, I'm like, how can we put ourselves out of business? Like, make the next version so kick ass that this version looks stupid. We want to kick our own ass every single day.
Exactly. Well, so that's what and that is you're successfully in the iterate and expand phase. And I tell you why the difference is because now you have people coming in trying to call you out, trying to say that they're what you guys do. And the reality is, they don't do what you do.
Fuck no.
Well, that's the thing. They're going to jump in because they see the money.
There is no system I've seen that can do everything ours can do. Can others host videos? Sure.
Sure. YouTube hosts videos.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on. Like, dude, people that don't do Lightspeed is because they don't understand it. Yeah. Anyone that understood it would do it. And guess what? Everyone we show pretty much comes on board and then gives us other people to come on board.
Yep.
And word of mouth only for 20 years has kept us busier than I'd like to be because I didn't have time to freaking develop the processes and really put the work in. So now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, looking back, shit, if I'd have implemented a marketing program like 10 years ago, shit.
Yeah.
I'd already have probably 2-3 billion.
Well, would you jump into somebody else's market or would you invent your market this time around again, though, knowing what you've gotten out of it?
I would invent a market or a product because, again, I don't care what market it's in. I look for problems.
Yeah.
And then I invent solutions. And the solution is going to be the best solution for that particular problem. The problem I had is you needed to train somebody in multiple places just as good. Well, that's very difficult to do. Unless you have a technology like mine.
Absolutely.
So I invented a product, right? A software. I don't really think, and you're the expert, I'm just saying, I don't really think I invented a market. I think it can be positioned to seem like a market. But in reality, I invented a solution to a common problem. And I just did it before everybody else, but it hasn't helped me because there's companies like mine, not like mine, but like mine, that are doing 800 to $1 billion a year. I haven't even cracked 100 million, dude. So at the end of the day, trust me when I tell you, what I'm doing ain't working because what they're fucking doing is working. They're making billions of dollars, but guess what? It's just time hasn't caught up. Eventually, our system will be known as this. Like I'll damn near give it to every business in the country because any business that's serious about staying in business needs it. They need it to train their people. They need it to advertise. They need it to generate leads. They need it to educate their customers. They need it for consistency. They need it for accountability. They need it for compliance. They need it for all kinds of reasons, productivity, legacy, all of that. They need it. And it's $200 a month for the average company. how come every company on the planet isn't have a system? It's like a phone, dude. Like everyone has a phone. Why? Because they know how to use it and they know how it's used. If everyone knew what Lightspeed actually can do,
Yeah.
everyone would have Lightspeed. And that's my goal, dude. Everyone's going to have Lightspeed.
Well,
Because my real goal is to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. And, dude, I need a highway for that. I need a trusted, interactive, engaging, user experience-based highway.
And you need an ecosystem.
It's called Lightspeed VT.
That's right. And so you think about this. A lot of what you're doing was being a product innovator, and that's the difference of a product innovator versus a market inventor. Market inventors take that product innovation and know how to make it big. You know how to do it, and you're doing it now. But
on accident with your guidance.
Yeah, and this is why we're helping. Because you look at the two things. I always ask people, say, hey, do you want innovation or market invention? You know what you get with innovation? You get the Wright brothers. With market invention, you get William Boeing. You get Boeing, other than the 737 MAX, I'm pretty sure they're in the multi-billion dollars, and I haven't flown on a Wright brothers airplane recently.
Yep.
Nikola Tesla is what you get with innovator. You get Thomas Edison as a market inventor, and GE's $63+ billion of market cap value. So you combine
what's the most valuable company on earth?
I want to say it's probably top now. It's up there with Amazon, Walmart, Apple, Coca-Cola.
I think it's Amazon.
Yeah.
The most valuable company.
I would say they are. And because this is why I say they are.
It's because they're connected to everybody, dude.
They are. And they're leveraging. They're using that as their leverage. They're channeled to everything. And so they're
everything.
And that's what I keep saying. It's like
they're listening right now on our iPhones.
That's right. And here's the thing. If you understand that they're a market invention company, the way you look at them is completely different, because now Whole Foods makes sense. Now Washington Post makes sense. All these other acquisitions and these bolt-ons, it all makes sense because all they're doing is following their process and just one at a time going after it. Just remember, Jeff Bezos started in a sort of private equity firm that all they did was innovate and create new products to market and then flip them and sell them. That's really where he was before he started Amazon. So this is his process. This is what he does, And I've had a few friends that are product managers for Amazon, read Toothfish, followed that book, and everything else, and they'll tell you firsthand that they're even loosely following it, and they don't even have it nailed as far as the process. So that if Amazon is loosely following this process, and they don't even have it in a systematic way, then imagine if somebody who did and actually knew how to fly a plane and knew about aerodynamics. And I always say this, like, people focus on disruption, and that's the wrong thing to focus on. That's like the byproduct. So you got to focus on the process that's going to create that result. So like, what are you going to do? And if market invention is the disruption, like gravity is an apple falling from a tree is the gravity. So if you look at disruption is a byproduct from market invention, just like an apple falling from a tree is gravity, byproduct of gravity. And everybody's running businesses. We're trying to do these startups without even understanding this law of nature exists. It drives me nuts. Just the same reason it drives you nuts about not everybody knows about actual learning and virtual training and all of this. It's the same thing about this. Think about how much change we can create, because this works on a personal brand level. It works as a company brand. It works if you're just doing a not-for-profit. Like, you want to do some sort of social cause, which more power to you. It works the same. So it's really the process of taking an idea and making it big. And it's the only way everybody's done it at this size. And I've been doing it for years.
See, folks, there you have it. Now, listen, if you want to follow him, go to Adam T. Vasquez on Instagram. You'll find him. Or go get his book, Toothfish. It's just called Toothfish?
Toothfish, The Origin of Markets.
Toothfish, The Origin of Markets. Go get that damn book and reach out to him if you need help. If you're a company, you're listening, you're like, damn, dude, I need to reinvent my shit. He's helping me reinvent my shit. So reach out to him. Tag a buddy. Thanks for sharing, dropping bombs. Until next time, kids, keep your timber limber. You'll be a hard man to beat.
Nice. Thank you.